Lying here staring at a ceiling fan spinning. Empty bed broken like a record player playing our song. Wishing this was the first time. Oh, don't come running back begging that you need me. Cause I bet money, I believe it. But I don't wanna believe it. Cause now I'm holding on to letting go. And after everything we've been through, I'm just out here chasing stars. I have come this far, and my gypsy heart will show you where I am. So catch me if you can.
Greetings, everyone. That was my friend, Maggie Baugh. This is Shelby Miguel with the Work Hard, Dream Big podcast. I hope everyone had a happy and safe Thanksgiving. Please help me welcome my friend, Maggie Baugh. Where did you come from? Where were you raised at?
So I'm born and raised in South Florida, East Coast, Boca Raton. No one really knows about it, but I'm born and raised in South Florida.
Did the hurricanes or anything affect y'all this past year?
Thankfully, I didn't. Thankfully, our family did not get hit with hurricanes. The hurricanes mainly went northern Florida, like in the Panhandle area, and luckily we were okay. But South Florida is just so used to these hurricanes,
I bet.
so like it doesn't even bother us anymore.
Yeah, it's kind of like us with tornadoes here in Oklahoma. It's just natural. It's like,
Yeah.
tornado. Let's watch it come across the field.
And we have time. We have time to prepare and like get what we need. In Nashville, I'm terrified of tornadoes because I never know when they're gonna come. And then like 5 minutes, everyone's like, "Oh, there's a tornado."
Get
I'm
on
like,
the ground.
in hurricanes, we get prepared for like a week.
Yeah. And that's what when hurricanes, and I've never been in a hurricane, I've never dealt with hurricanes, but to me, I'm like, why doesn't everyone just leave? You're
I know.
risking so many more lives just staying there rather than leaving. I know there's like commitment and this is my house and if I'm going to die, I'm going to die in my house kind of thing. But to me, I'm like, it's not worth it.
Yeah, exactly.
It's
Right.
not worth it. How long have you lived in Nashville?
Actually, I just moved about 6 months ago. I just hit the six month mark. I moved back May 20th or 21st, around there.
When did you start singing?
I started playing violin before I started singing. So I've been playing violin since I was 6 years old. And then right around school area, I started singing and playing guitar. And my story is a little bit different. So I didn't really start because I was inspired by somebody. Yeah, I love Taylor Swift, don't get me wrong. But like, I grew up in her era, so a lot of people think that I started because of her. And I actually didn't start because of somebody. I was getting bullied at school, and I decided to write my feelings down on paper and kind of use music as a saving grace. So that's kind of how I started songwriting and singing. And then I just started performing out at small little songwriter around here in my hometown. And then now I moved to Nashville and I'm playing on the big stages, and
How is that? What's it like playing on a big stage from a small town?
It is crazy. I'm just so blessed every single time that I go on stage that I'm fortunate enough to be doing this. But the rush of just the fans singing your songs back to you is just incredible. All the production teams and even my team are absolutely incredible. So it's so much fun knowing that you worked this hard for something and then you get to go on stage every night and live what you worked for.
Yeah, that's what I find kind of cool about this podcast is for me, I get to talk to people who aren't quite yet all over the nation. They're starting their careers, they're figuring it out, they're doing things to improve their success.
Yeah.
So like for me,
sure.
It's going to be cool a year, 2 years, 3 years from now to look back and be like,
Aw.
all this stuff you said, you really worked for. Like, I'm hearing your story before your story started. And so to me, that's what's coolest about this podcast that I do. But so when you moved to Nashville, you didn't have a record label. What did you have when you came to Nashville?
So when I came to Nashville, I had a lot of contacts. I am an independent artist, so I had a lot of contacts and people that wanted to help me. Now, after being there for quite some time, I have a management company. I am a booking agency, William Morris. So I don't know. It's just the contacts and just meeting everybody. You really never know who you're going to meet in Nashville, which is really the funny thing.
Why do you choose that route over going to a natural label? What's the biggest difference there?
Well, the difference is, I guess, the name behind you. It's not that I don't want a label. It's just like, it's not something that you can just go and knock on someone's door and be like, hey, sign me, you know?
Yeah.
It takes time being in Nashville and getting your name out there and making sure that everyone's familiar with you and your music and your personality. So it's just meeting everybody.
When you write your music, do you write it by
Mm-hmm.
yourself or do you write with a team?
I do both. I do co-writes, which is like with a bunch of writers up in Nashville, and I do write by myself. The creative process for me kind of starts with melodies and guitar riffs because I was a musician before I was a songwriter. Music was always around me, so I come up with the melodies and chord changes and the production side of things before I come up with the words.
Let's talk about your guitar slaying skills for just a moment. I saw a video of you slaying the electric guitar. What kind of, has that always been like you from the beginning?
Actually, I started playing violin first. So I already mastered the 4 strings before I got the 2 more. And then, I don't know, just string instruments because I learned the theory behind the violin. I learned the orchestra and I learned how to play with people and I learned all the background and history of music. And so it was a lot easier for me to pick up a second string instrument because I learned all of that. And I learned like how to hold it and how to, present your fingers and your ear that way. So I learned all the theory on the violin, but I never was able to learn all the theory on the guitar. So it's really interesting when people ask me how I learned guitar because I learned it all by ear. Yeah, I was taught a couple chords here and there from somebody just to how to shape my fingers, but I really learned guitar by ear or cool riffs on YouTube. And now I learn all my solos by someone teaching it to me and sitting in front of me, or just by ear and slowing it down and just playing it 100 times over again until I get it.
Wow. Whenever I watched that video of you playing, it kind of reminded me of Lindsay L. I don't know if you've ever seen her slay on the guitar.
Yeah.
But it's like so much, she put so much heart and passion into it. And her album, that was pretty much a John Mayer album.
Mm-hmm.
It was like seeing Lindsay L play the guitar. It was just, it was cool.
Well, thank you so much.
I don't know how to explain
She's
it, but
an incredible
it was cool.
artist.
Yeah, she is. She's super
you.
incredible. So, 2013, you wrote, was it an album or EP?
It was an album.
Album, that's what I thought. Only Good Things. Let's talk about that for a minute. What kind of started that?
Oh my gosh,
process?
Taking it back to history right now. I have not thought about this in quite some time. So when I first started songwriting, when I was back in school, I always wrote music. I wrote so much music that I just decided to put an album out literally every year. So 2013 was one of the first albums that I decided, okay, this is who I am at the time. So I'm going to let my fans know that this is my music and this is my voice, kind of just to get my name out there. And ever since then, every summer, I've tried my best to put new music out. So, for example, Only Good Things was who I was in 2013. And then the next summer, I was like, okay, well, I'm not that girl anymore. I have new experiences to share. So I'm going to come out with Heck of a Story. So the next summer, I recorded new music and came out with Heck of a Story. So going back to Only Good Things, a lot of people don't know my story. Kind of what I was talking about beforehand. I started writing music because I was getting bullied in school. I decided to put my feelings down on a paper, and in 2013, that was kind of my feelings, and that was kind of where I was at. So Only Good Things was kind of about me being in school, me first starting out, and me getting bullied and trying to share my experiences with everybody.
And listening to songs on your 2013 album and listening to your current album that was released in 2017, it's so cool to see the growth there. Like just in your voice, not I mean, and in the writing, of course, but in your voice, it's like every single year you got better and better and better, and your writing got better and better and better, and your storytelling. That's the best thing to me about country music. And pop.
I love country music.
I mean, pop too has a storyteller behind it as well, but to me, and one of your favorite songs for me was "Catch Me." That was.
Oh, thanks.
That was to me. And Into You and Catch Me were both kind of hit home for me.
Well,
But
thank you.
so tell me a little bit about those. What was writing
So
those?
Catch Me, I wrote Catch Me on my way to Nashville one summer. It's kind of like, so the first verse is, oh, the way the state line looks in my rear view, this highway reminds me of you. So it's kind of like going on a journey and going forward in a direction and knowing that if this guy wants you, he's going to have to come catch me because there's no way I'm turning around.
Yeah.
I'm going. This is
You're
my
chasing your
dream. I'm
dream.
catching it. So that's kind of what Catch Me is about. And I wrote Into You by myself, actually. I wrote it on a piano, and it was right when I went through a really crappy breakup. Heck of a Story and Catch Me are kind of where I was when I first started liking boys and decided, hey, this whole dating thing's kind of cool.
Yeah.
So it's really funny to go from only good things, getting bullied and my feelings there, to, oh, hey, I got dumped.
Yeah.
New experience. So Into You and Catch Me are kind of like in the beginning of a relationship. Catch Me, like, I want you to be in my life. And then all of a sudden Into You is like, oh, we're done. But for some reason I keep holding on to you.
What's one of the favorite songs you've ever written?
You know what? It's so weird when people ask me that question because I feel like the last song I've always written is always going to be my favorite.
I feel like that's a lot of artist answers. Probably because they relate
I've
to
been
that
writing
one.
since then. Yeah, exactly. So I've been writing since then. I have a lot of new songs coming out, and I don't know, just every single song that I write last is my favorite.
When are you planning on releasing new music?
So fans who pre-ordered this new EP already have them, and I always perform my new music at my shows, so you can come see my shows, but stay tuned for the date on when I'm releasing new music.
Where can they find those dates at?
You can find my dates all over social media, on Instagram, Facebook, Twitter. I'm all over it. It's just, and my website, www.maggiebaugh.com.
Cool. People need to go check that out right now. What can you say about your new music? What is
It's definitely a new experience. I've had some breakups. I've moved on, and I've had the chance to move away and be on my own for a little bit, which is really cool. So the new music is kind of just who I am now as a teenager versus who I was in 2013.
What's your favorite thing about Nashville? Let's go back to Nashville.
Oh my
for a minute.
gosh. I'm just obsessed with everyone being a musician. I just cannot believe that everywhere you go, someone sings or someone has some relationship to music, which I think is the coolest thing ever.
I ask everyone on my guest list that are from Nashville just because when I plan a trip to Nashville, I'm going to have a bucket list of things to do that people tell me to do. So if you have anything that I need to do, let me know.
So my dream performance is at the Grand Ole Opry, and I think it's just a Nashville experience to go watch a show there. There is not a bad seat in that house. So anywhere you sit, it's a good seat, and you just have to see a show at the Mother Church of Country Music.
That would be my dream. My dream, actually, would be able to see Carrie Underwood at the Grand Ole Opry.
Oh, my gosh. I have not seen her yet.
I've seen her twice in concert, and I'm going. She's on our tour next year. I got front row seats. I spent more money than is probably allowed to be said on
That's
tickets.
Crazy.
But that is like my dream.
I hope you have fun.
Oh, I'm going to have a blast just being in the same room as Carrie Underwood, much less that close. So
no, I get it.
it'd be super cool. I'm super excited for it. Are you touring right now or planning on touring any?
So I've been touring on and off throughout the summer. Like, I've literally been in 5 different states in the past 6 months. It's crazy. Had a lot of shows in Ohio, had a lot of shows in Georgia. I've been to South Florida, where I'm from. I've been in Missouri, been Virginia, New York. It's been a whirlwind, cool. And I'm so thankful. It's so much fun touring. I do have a couple days coming up. So December 6th through the 9th, I'm going to be on tour with William Michael Morgan in Michigan. So if anyone's in Michigan, make sure you go on my website and look for tickets. And going to be with him. It's going to be so much fun.
Yeah, check that out. What's some artists that you have performed with? I seen a list, but.
So this past summer, I was on tour with William Michael Morgan for a little bit. I've gone out with Dylan Scott. So we had a run of shows with him in New York, which was so fun. I just got off 2 dates with Joe Diffie. Yeah, some hits in the 90s, going back to old school here.
Oh, I bet that was a blast.
Oh, he was so much fun.
What's some others?
Last year, if anyone's in South Florida, last year I played Tortuga, which was so much fun. I was on the same ballot as Eric Church and Snoop Dogg and all of those crazy cats.
In the next year, what's some goals that you want to achieve?
I hope that I could just travel more and spread my music to everybody, because I know I've been to a lot of places, but I feel like I haven't even seen all my fans yet, and I just love meeting people and I love touring. So I hope I get to be touring more and bringing out with new music.
If you could perform with one artist, who would
that
be? Any
you know,
artist.
if you asked me in 2013, I would have told you Charlie Daniels, and I actually was able to perform with him when I was 13 years old.
No way.
So
what was that like?
That is my dream. Oh my gosh. If you told me that a little 13-year-old was going to perform with Charlie Daniels, I would have called you crazy. I would have been like, that's never going to happen. So I actually opened up for him and played the national anthem at his event. And I was sitting in the front row eating my goldfish. And then all of a sudden, his manager walks up to me. He's like, hey, you want to play on stage with Charlie? And I was like, oh my God, are you kidding
Absolutely.
me? And so I went backstage and I was like, oh my God, I only know half the song. And so I told him that. I was like, I only know half the song. And he was like, follow my fingers. So I sat there in front of 20,000 people with Charlie Daniels a foot away from me playing Devil Went Down to Georgia. And that video is on YouTube. Just go type it in, Maggie, Baugh, and Charlie Daniels.
Oh, wow. I didn't know that. I'll have to check that out. That's cool.
Well, thanks.
So now, who would be your number one artist to perform with?
Oh, my gosh. I'm obsessed. If we're not doing country music, I'm obsessed with Lindsey Sterling. I respect her so much as a person and an artist, and her stage performance. I love her so much. If we're talking about violin, I love Lindsey Sterling.
She can play the violin. I mean, it is so pretty.
Oh, my God, yeah.
I follow her. I follow Bobby
crazy.
Bones. And Bobby Bones and her are really close. And that's how I actually started following Lindsey Sterling. So that's cool. Yeah, she can.
Yeah.
Do you prefer the violin over anything else?
Well, my violin was the first instrument I ever learned to play, so it is kind of like my comfort zone, and it's really fun because no one else plays it, so it's like my unique factor, but I get to express my emotions, and I get to share my experiences more by singing and writing music and playing guitar.
Yeah. I've been somewhat playing the guitar for a few years now.
Oh, cool.
Trying to learn it, but it is actually a lot harder than you
done?
Just picking up a guitar and playing it.
Yeah, it definitely takes patience.
A lot of patience, a lot of time, and a lot of consistency.
It'll be worth it.
So I'm still working on it, but I'll let you know how that goes in a couple years, maybe.
Okay, let me know.
If you could give 13-year-old you any advice, what would that advice be?
So when I was first starting singing and songwriting, I met this girl named Caroline Cole, and she gave me the best advice, and actually she's the reason I started songwriting. She told me to play anywhere and everywhere I can because I never know who's watching. So ever since then, I've just been playing anywhere, even if it's only to one person in the pouring rain or to 20,000 people with Charlie Daniels. You just never know who's watching.
Never know who's watching.
Nope.
And you never know who has
not
a
one
friend
person
of a
could change your life.
friend.
Exactly.
That's pretty good advice, if you ask me. So, in your music, is that your only career right now?
Yeah.
Is that your only pursuit right now?
Yeah, I literally just tour and play music all the time, and it's the only job I have.
Man, that is the life. That is the life. I'm jealous, but I can't sing, and like I said, I can barely play the guitar a little bit. But if I could even tour just to watch music all the time, I would totally use that as a career.
Oh,
absolutely. So I'm jealous. Don't ever take it for granted.
Well, I hope that we get to meet soon. That'd be so much fun.
Yeah, I'm gonna try and plan a trip to Nashville within the next year.
Yeah, let me know when you come.
But I just started a new job, and so that kind of makes it hard to just up and leave whenever you want.
No, I get that.
But I'm going to plan on coming up, and I've got a few people that I'd like to meet up there and that I've talked to.
Well, let me know when you come, and hopefully we could plan a trip around each other.
Yeah, for sure. I don't know if you know who Melanie Marini is, but I did a podcast with her.
Oh, I love her.
And she was super sweet.
God, she's the sweetest.
Yeah, her and Jesse both. And so I'd like to get up there and meet them. And so I'm just kind of making a list of cool people I want to meet. So you're definitely on it.
Oh.
So I assume that Charlie's Daniel is the coolest thing you've ever done in your lifetime?
I don't know. I've had some really awesome experiences since then, and I'm just so blessed to be able to do what I do every single day. So,
what is your lifetime goal? Like, where do you want to be?
I just want to play everywhere and just get my music out to fans and people who want to hear it. My ultimate goal is to play the Grand Ole Opry. So, if that day ever comes, I don't know what I'm going to do after that because my life is complete.
Die happy.
Yeah, exactly.
Is there anything that you specifically would like to change in your music? Like, do you?
I don't know. It's always like a trial and error for me. You know, like you do things that you might think that works, and then all of a sudden you realize that it doesn't work, and then you're like, oh well, we'll just try it again and do something different. So it's just always a trial and an error. There's never anything that's set.
Nothing's ever
and
perfect.
If it works,
There's always room to improve.
Exactly. There's always room for improvement. I'm pretty sure Carrie Underwood is improving every single day.
I don't know. She's pretty perfect. Like.
Oh yeah, I would agree.
It's hard to beat Carrie Underwood when it comes to a whole lot of things, in my opinion. You can't host the CMA's Pregnant and still look absolutely stunning. And seeing the way she sings. To me, I've never actually sung in front of anyone. Actually, I take that back. I sang my sister got married, and I did a remix to the Backstreet's Back song.
Mm-hmm.
And sang that at my sister's wedding for her maid of honor speech.
Oh, wow. That's amazing.
It was super cool. It was ridiculously funny, but she cried and I cried. Everyone laughed. It was so funny.
Oh, well, I'm so glad.
Yeah, it was cool. When you're pregnant, you've got to have things pressing on your lungs and something that doesn't quite expand
For sure. For someone who literally has a bowling ball in her belly, she literally kills it.
I'm like, you didn't miss a beat, and there's something pressing on your lungs to where you, logically speaking, should not be able to expand like you normally do. Didn't miss a beat. I'm like, all right, that's it. Perfection. That's it.
Carrie freaking Underwood.
Carrie freaking Underwood. And even, Miranda Lambert, there's just country. Women in country music, to me, are amazing. It's like, I've been on a Miranda Lambert kick lately. And I just get in the car, put on Miranda Lambert, play for a while. It's just like, why aren't women in country music more appreciated than they are?
I have no idea, but I feel like this year is the year of the woman, and I feel like we're just going to overcome all of those challenges that we've been having.
There's been a lot of good things happening for women in country music, so I'm excited to see where that all goes. For you guys, for Melanie, for Jesse.
Me too.
Everyone's doing all these really cool things and making things happen, so I'm really excited to see where everything goes.
Me too.
Before we close this out, is there anything else that you would like to add to your fans, friends, family?
Thank you so much. I really appreciate you taking the time to talk with me and, let me share my story.
Yeah, absolutely. I love hearing everyone's story, and everyone's got a different story. It's just, like I said, just how you tell that story that shows people who you are. So
exactly. Well, thank you.
It's incredible, yeah. But yeah, I appreciate you so much for talking with me and giving me the time of day. That's always a blessing. So
yeah, of course.
If there is anything I can do for you from a small town, Oklahoma, you just let me know. This concludes episode 8 of Work Hard, Dream Big with your host, Shelby McGill. That was Maggie, Baugh, and me having a good live chat. If you would, check her out on social media, stream her music, and let her know what you think. Thanks for listening.
It's tragedy.